All right, guys, so you're thinking about moving to Maine. Well, in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 things I love about living here in Maine, but I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to talk to you about the bottom 5 things, or the top 5 things I don't really care about living here in Maine. You know, we're going to talk the pros and the cons, the yin and the yang. I'm going to give you it straight from my perspective, somebody who's lived here almost his entire life. So if that's of interest to you, if you're going to find this content maybe informative to help you make a decision on should you move to Maine, should you not, well, then stick around because we're going to get after that right now. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott Tebow here at Live Life in Maine. I am a real estate broker with eXp Realty. I'm a realtor. I'm an investor. I've flipped houses. I've built houses. I've renovated property. I helped renovate a mill district, which is a 200-year-old property. And I've been doing real estate on the sales side as a realtor since 2013. And I'm a Mainer, somebody who was born and bred in Maine, lived here almost his whole life, except for the 9 years I was away. Much of it was because I was in the military, stationed in other parts of the country and around the world. And more importantly than all that, guys, though, is I'm a father of 5, I'm married, and I have 2 grandchildren, another one on the way, interestingly enough, and we're getting our first baby girl. So I got 2 boys right now, and our next grandchild's going to be a girl. We're all excited. God, I've been around girls my whole life, 4 daughters and a son. I got my dog right over there. She's a girl. Got a cat. He's a boy, but he's not around much. But anyways, where was I? Yeah, digressing about me. So this channel is all about just guys helping you guys make informed decisions on what it's like to live in Maine. You know, we get calls, texts, emails all the time asking us what it's like to live here in Maine. Can you help us move to Maine? Can you help us sell in Maine? Got investors calling, sellers calling. I just talked to a potential seller the other day who wanted me to come meet him at his house and was telling me about all the people that have contacted him in my industry, and he called them like piranhas. He's like, they just don't leave you alone. And he goes, oh, I really like your demeanor. I really like how you come across on camera. I felt like I've known you my whole life. And guys, honestly, that's the purpose of this channel. I'm not one of those pushy real estate agents. I believe in giving you as much information as possible to help you make an informed decision as much as possible, in the hopes that maybe you'll choose to want to work with me. I'm here to help you. I know I'll never get what I want unless I help you get what you want. It's about putting your clients and your customers first and then helping them navigate through the maze. And it's a maze, guys. I never thought it was until I really get into it. There's a lot you got to know. So much to the fact that I just saw a study that 91% of people that are either buying or selling real estate really want to work with a knowledgeable real estate agent, broker, or somebody who's been in the game for a while, only because there is so much to know. In one of these videos, I'm going to break down everything there is to know to sell. I went over a purchase and sale agreement a couple episodes ago on breaking that down just to give you more information on what it looks like and how informative it is. It's pretty long, but guys, it's all about education. The more you know, the more armed you are with information, the more bullets you have in your gun, if you will, the more prepared you will be when it comes for that time to buy or sell in the state of Maine. And that's why I'm here. That's why my team is here. And we're going to continue to produce content as long as you guys keep supporting this. So if you like this channel, if you want to know more, subscribe, hit that tap that bell to be notified when I drop new content. And I'm trying to do it on a weekly basis. All right, let's talk about the top 5 and the bottom 5 things that I like and don't like about Maine. And normally, guys, my glass is half full. I believe you must believe it before you can achieve it. I believe your mind will quit before your body will. That's kind of my military training, if you will. But I believe you can overcome just about anything, you know, mentally, if you're prepared and you understand how things work and you're knowledgeable. So I'm trying to give you some knowledge on my perspective on what I think Maine is like and kind of things I like and don't like about it. And like any state, guys, there's pros and cons of living anywhere. I don't care if you're living in Florida, Texas, Maine, or some other state, right? New York, California, wherever it is, anywhere in the world, you're always going to find things that you like. You're always going to find things you don't like. Obviously, I live in Maine for a reason. There's a lot more pros than there are cons, a lot more. And the pros way outweigh the cons. But obviously, to be fair, I don't want to just be somebody who gives you this all pep talk and talk to you about how great Maine is, because, you know, Maine is great. But there's also some challenges here. And some of them are kind of minor, but here's my perspective on living in Maine. So for the first time, I'm going to start with the bad side or the negative side of living in Maine. I'm going to go to the cons, which is not like me. Normally I start with the good stuff, but in this episode, we're going to go to the cons. So the number one con I feel of living in Maine is the mud season. Mud season is generally spring. It generally starts at the end of March, goes through most of April, and things start kind of drying out sometime in May. Things are muddy. Unless you like four-wheeling or you like playing in the mud with different motorcycle cross or stuff like that. I'm not a big muddy guy. I don't like the mud season. I used to play in the Mud Bowl, which was a flag football game. I shouldn't say used to. I played in it once, and you're in like 6 inches of mud, and it was fun. But I mean, you're just covered. I've been in 4x4s and side by sides and crossing, going through mud, and that's all that. All that stuff is fun, but you're a mess, and it takes a lot of time to get clean. But the mud season, not a big fan of the mud season in Maine. Really, middle to the end of March, depends on how cold the winter was and how much snow we got, till about beginning of May when things start drying out. April is pretty much just for me a washout, really muddy, really wet, and you get it because the ground's frozen and then it starts thawing out. And, you know, everything's wet, so it gets muddy. And then it freezes again at night as those temperatures, you know, they're going below freezing at night, and then they're coming above freezing during the day. And then, you know, the land is going from hard to soft until it finally completes all soft. And then obviously the sun will dry everything out. But mud season, not a big fan. Number 2, taxes. We do, I feel, pay a lot for taxes in the state of Maine. I did some quick calculations. So we have a gas tax. We have income tax. We have a sales tax. We have a real estate tax. We have an excise tax when you buy cars. There's probably a lot more taxes. We do pay, I feel, a lot for taxes to live here in the state of Maine. Now, other states, you know, that taxes aren't as high, like New Hampshire, they get it all paid for by their real estate. So is it a wash? I don't know. And if I'm talking to somebody from California or New York, you're probably saying, Scott, that's nothing. But to be fair, I do think we pay a lot for taxes. I kind of get it. We're a sparsely populated state, about 1.4 million people. We're a big state in terms of New England. We're almost as big as the other 5 New England states put together. We're spread out. So, you know, you got municipalities that need revenue to help make sure the citizens are cared for and help make sure the roads are plowed and help make sure the infrastructure is kept up. I get it. We don't have a dense population, but we do pay a lot in taxes, I feel. Just my 2 cents. Number 3, the state flower. Wait. What did you say? The state flower? Yes, but no. No, technically, the state flower is the white pine cone. I don't have an issue with the white pine cone. But really, if you really think about it from my perspective, the state flower, in my opinion, isn't the white pine cone, or it shouldn't be. It's the friggin' orange construction barrel, because they're everywhere. I also get it, right? You can't do road work from probably the middle of December to, you know, the end of March, or maybe the middle of March, but God almighty, people, everywhere you go in the summertime, there's this state flower, the orange barrel, construction zones all over the place. You know what I just really can't get? I just had this happen to me last year. they blocked off this road because they were digging up the road to put a sewer line in. So I know my way around my own hometown a bit. So I took a sidetrack. Sure enough, blocked there too. Found out another way, blocked there too. You would think they would work together to figure out when these things are happening so they can make sure traffic flow is happening. No, they just do the job, and I don't think they care about state flower, the orange barrel. It's prevalent. It's out a lot, especially in the spring and the summertime. And in the summertime, it really gets to be a problem because number 4 of what I could take or leave in the state of Maine is all the tourism, the tourists that come here. Now, whoa. Before you beat me up, I get it. Maine's a beautiful state. People want to come here. People want to visit. People want to spend their summers up there. I get it. I live here. I absolutely understand it. But God almighty, the state is 1.4 million. And last year, 13.89 million people came to the state. Now, I also get it. Tourism is, in general, Maine's largest industry across the state. So I get it. It feeds a lot of mouths. It makes a lot of jobs. I get it. But my goodness, the tourism is so crazy here. In the summertime, here's an example where I live. So my wife and I have we hang out at Bailey's Campground in Scarborough. We have a fifth wheel there, so it's kind of like my home away from home. It's 14 miles down the road. People are like, why do you vacation in Scarborough? Why do you vacation in Maine? Because there's actually no other better place to vacation, in my opinion, in the summertime than in Maine. But I can't even use the internet on my phone because there's so many people trying to get on with their phones and tourism. It's crazy. I went to AT&T and I went to Verizon. They're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do because it's only temporary. We're not going to invest all this money into the infrastructure only for 8-9 times of the people but are going to leave after the holidays or after really kind of when school starts, and then people do come for the foliage and some of the skiing and stuff. But it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Thank God for Starlink, especially when I'm camping, because I can't even work if I'm at the campground with no internet. So tourism, we get a lot of it. You're going to see this more in southern Maine and mid-coast, the Bar Harbor regions, the Portlands, the beaches. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of tourism in those parts of the state of Maine. And then in the wintertime, obviously, you get the ski slopes and stuff. It's not as bad, but a lot of people come to Maine in the summertime and in the fall for tourism. And it's a little bit much if you're from here. It's something you just get used to. The traffic, gets crazy. Rest lines and restaurants are longer. Everything is, and then you get all these people from all over the place. I'm not like Mainers, and I'm like, some of them are pretty rude, I think, because they come from states that are rude. But my 2 cents. All right. And number 5, guys, tree sap, specifically pine tree sap. Now, here in Maine, we have a ton, plethora. The state is just peppered with pine trees. It's the pine tree state, after all. And we have massive forest. We have wilderness everywhere. And you coming out of winter, even in the summertime, you get the sap that just comes out of these trees and gets over everything. And so I'm going to go down this road, right? When I was a kid, I'd get it all over my hands and I'd wipe it on my jeans and all over my clothes. And it was not fun trying to get it off your hands and your face and all that. But you were a kid, right? You're playing in that stuff. And, my mother, she dealt the laundry. So she'd always complain, oh, God, got tree sap all over you again, me and my brother. And I get it. She tried to scrub that stuff out and it doesn't go away. And you'd have polka dotted, blue jeans with sap all over and stuff, and get it. It's kind of a way of life as a kid. But as you get older, sap becomes kind of annoying. Here's a case in point. It just really brought it home for me, right? I kind of always knew it existed, but I'm not playing in it, right? But so I go online and I build a BMW car. It's my second BMW that I've had, and I build it to my specs. And I order it online, built to my specs, great, pay for it, have it shipped. It happened during COVID, so it took like 4 weeks to build it in Germany. It took like 8 months to get it because it sat in the Atlantic Ocean on a container ship waiting to go into the port of Baltimore to be delivered to me. But so I get the car. All good and dandy. Right at Halloween. I got it at Halloween a couple years ago. And got this car, beautiful, beautiful paint. It looks, people are like, wow, that's a beautiful looking car, right? So great. Well, my sister, who has a camp, comes here every year from Vegas. Her and her husband, they hang out at a campground not too far from me. I love hanging around my sister, love hanging around my family. We play games and all stuff there. So I decided, instead of taking my truck, I'm going to take my car this one day. And I take my car and I park it in front of her campsite. And of course, she's got these big, massive pine trees. And I wasn't thinking. Parked the car there. Hang out for the day, leave, sap all over my car. And guys, if you don't get it quick and it starts to dry, it is like seagull poop is pretty bad, but this is even worse because it becomes like glue and bonded to your car. So trying to get that stuff off your vehicle is a pain in the butt. Never mind trying to get it off your hands, your clothes. Just tree sap is so annoying. Now, I get it. Right now we're in the maple business, maple time of the year, Maine maple. We just had Maine maple Sunday, which was a couple days ago. I mean, you get the maple, you get the trees, the dripping, they boil out all that. You make syrup. I don't know, the whole process is pretty cool. But all I'm saying is you get this sap all over the place. And it's just, people in Portland, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about because there's hardly any trees there. But as you get away from the coast and you get more, if you like fishing or hunting or anything like that, you're going to be in the middle of it. You're going to be in trees. You're going to have sap. It's a way of life here in Maine. Not a big fan of the sap. I like having it with maple syrup when it's all been defined and all been boiled down and all been processed and whatever it does. But man, sap is it's annoying. So mud season, taxes, the state flower, which is what I really call the orange barrel. Tourism, love you guys, but man, do you all have to come at once? And tree sap are the bottom five things, the 5 things that I hate the most, or hate's a pretty strong word, that I dislike the most about living in Maine. Let's talk about the top 5 things I love about Maine, and I'll start with number 5, fishing. Guys, if you like to fish, you have the best of both worlds. You have a plethora of streams and lakes and ponds and brooks. I mean, you got bass, you got largemouth, smallmouth, you got all different types of freshwater fish that you can fish for. But basically, smallmouth and largemouth is just awesome to catch, right, in the streams. And then, if you want to get a little adventurous, you can go into the ocean. And like where I live, I live right off the Saco River, and coming up halfway into the Saco River, probably about 3-4 miles, that water's brackish because it feeds to the ocean, and it gets less saltier as you come inland more. But up into the first dam, it's brackish, and you have these massive, we call them stripers. They're sea bass, and they can grow 5 feet, for crying out loud. They're massive, and they come up there and they chase the bait fish, especially in the in May time frame. But deep sea fishing or island fishing or deep sea, bottom fishing in the ocean, we have this ledge called Jeffrey's Ledge. So it's about 30 miles off the coast of Maine. Some amazing fishing, tuna, just big fish. You get some sharks out there, but it's amazing to be fishing in this state. And I love the best of both worlds. I love being in the brooks, the streams, the rivers, the lakes, and I also love being in the ocean. So fishing, I love fishing in Maine. And in the summertime and in the fall time, the weather is so pristine. Fishing is just amazing. Number 4. Didn't really realize it because I kind of grew up here, but as I got away and then I see in the news and everything, Maine's quality of life / safety, right? So Maine is always in the top 2 or 3 as the safest states in the country. Ironically, it's either Maine, Vermont, or New Hampshire. So it's really these 3 states up here in the Northeast that are ironically the safest states in the country, but just a way of life. And as I got older, I got to appreciate this more, the quality of life, right? it's not a fast-paced hustle and bustle, everybody's trying to climb over you type of lifestyle. It's most people are easygoing, friendly. You know, they're you know, you don't have a lot of road rage. You don't have all these things that I hear about. You don't have high crimes, and you know, you don't have God. If there was a murder or some crazy thing that happened in the state of Maine, it would be all over the place because it just doesn't happen that much. Now I have to digress and say, unfortunately, back on my birthday last year, October 25th, we had the largest and only, to my knowledge, mass shooting in the state of Maine at a bowling alley and at a bar that happened in Lewiston. It was horrific, but it was mental health more so than anything else. Not dismissing it. Should have never happened. The state police record just came out about the state police, said they knew about this for a month and they never did anything about it. So shame on them for not enacting on the surveillance and intel they got. The guy, they knew this guy had some issues. They didn't do anything about it. That being said, we are a very safe state, and the quality of life is just, to me, bar none. I mean, it is so peaceful, tranquil, being one with nature, living in the outdoors. Guys, I'm telling you, there's really something to be said about being part of that environment. And then, of course, that's number 4. Number 3, the food. I go about 238 pounds. I haven't missed many meals. The food in the state of Maine is amazing. I mean, I can't stress it enough. It is amazing. Sure, you have lobster. Sure, you have the seafood. Sure, you have all that. Maine's synonymous with lobsters, right? But there are so many people in restaurants, especially in Portland, right? Portland has so many restaurants and so many different cuisines. And you actually find that you have had a lot of really good chefs that have moved to Maine, getting away from, you know, they've made their money, they made their careers, they're coming here to kind of slow down, and they open up these little boutique shops or these little boutique restaurants, and the food is just like incredible. Never mind the food trucks. The people that have created food trucks and the food you get out of these food trucks, the food is just amazing, guys. I don't know another word to use other than amazing. I'm sure other states have like this too, but I mean, you know, kind of like Texas is known for its barbecue, I guess, and Maine may be known for its seafood. But guys, there's all kinds of food. And the blueberry pies, because we have fresh blueberries here, and the different types of toppings you have, from pumpkin to squash to, it's just, guys, the food is amazing here. And I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie because I like to eat. I don't know if that makes me a foodie, but I like to eat. I also like to cook too, but the food here is amazing. It really is. It's second to none in my opinion. Number 2, you know how I hated the mud season as number 1? Well, if I could take that month and a half to 2 months and just take it right out of the calendar, the rest of the time living here, guys, is phenomenal. The summers and the falls here are just, there's nothing like it. There really isn't. Again, I may be a little jaded because I'm from here and I'm talking to you about Maine, but the summers here are generally, last summer was a little rough up until July. We got a lot of rain. We fell into this pattern, but the summers here are just so good. The weather is so nice. You know, it's not high humidity. We do get a few days here and there where it gets really hot and you have humidity. But for the most part, the beaches, the water, all that stuff, all the things you can do, the summer times, and this is why we get so much tourism. I get it. One feeds the other. The weather in the summertime is just phenomenal. It's an amazing place to be, and a lot of people hate leaving. The air is clean. You can see the stars. Sometimes you see the borealis lights if you're up further north in northern Maine. It's just so amazing. And then in the fall time, right, you have the leaves changing and all those colors that you can see. And a lot of people just come up here to, you know, look at the foliage and all the colors. It's just spectacular. And guys, having lived here almost my whole life, other than those 9 years, it's still every year. It's like, wow, let's go on a drive. Let's go on the Kangamangas Highway up through New Hampshire, from Maine and through New Hampshire, and some of the views you can see in the breathtaking, picturesque colors that just pop right out of the landscape. The bright yellows and oranges and reds. It's beautiful. And then the crispness in the air, you got the smell of pumpkin and all the breweries and that are making special beers and the coffee drinks and the blueberry pie and all that stuff is just, love the fall time here. Love it, love it, love it. And then the wintertime, I love the winter. My wife doesn't. She's from Texas, but especially there's so many things you can do in the winter. I said this in a prior video. I think you can do more things in the winter than you can in the summer because there's more places you can go. If you got a sled or if you're cross country skiing or ice skating or snowshoeing, the things you can do and the place you can go it's just, you can't get there normally other times of the year, especially if you got to cross over a body or water, river, stream, those things are frozen. And then, it is so quiet, especially when you get out of the, kind of away from the coast a little bit, away from Portland, really, because it's hustle and bustle, away from the faster paced cities. Not that they're really fast paced compared to other parts of this country, but from a Maine's perspective, a Maniac's perspective, they're faster paced. It is so peaceful and tranquil, and the tranquility is, I can always tell. Even if I didn't know it was going to snow, I don't even watch the weather anymore because, no offense, meteorologists, you guys are always wrong. It just seems like you guys are always wrong. But I can always tell when it snowed because it gets so quiet, right? I like to sleep with my window open a little bit. I like the coldness. And sometimes, you hear your neighbors leaving the yards and their cars and stuff because I live in a community. But when it snows, it's so quiet. Everything is muffled and you can tell it's just so peaceful, guys. So the wintertime and all the things you can do in the wintertime is just love the 3 seasons. If you could take the mud season out from about March, the middle of March to end of March till like the beginning of May. So it's really a month and a half. This is paradise. And then number 1, the best thing about living in Maine is the people. I say that without hesitation. People in Maine, they're kind of like, they tend to their own business in a way. They're not going to push upon you, politics, right? We all have our beliefs in politics, and God knows I'm opinionated and I have my own, but I'm not going to go down the road and rant to people about why my way is better than the others. Actually, I try to understand their way more so than rant about my way, because I feel if I can help understand their philosophy or their thinking, I can then educate them in terms of why my way may be better, right? But if I come in with a ego and bullish, nobody's going to listen, right? There's their ego and their bullish mentality is going to stick up and you're not going to get anything solved. But the people, they're kind of to themselves, right? I don't mean like they're introverts. I just mean they're kind of to themselves. They don't push agendas. They're friendly. They're easygoing. They're nice. I think it just comes back to our heritage of being a hardworking, down-to-earth people that love this country. Most of them, including myself, are religious. We love the state of Maine. We love our children. We love the family core values. We love all that stuff. And if you don't love all that stuff, that's okay. I'm not saying you have to live here. I'm just saying the people are just, there's nobody I can't go up and just start a conversation with. Just the other day, I was leaving Home Depot. And there's this old guy, and he had bought a grill, and he had it in the back of the truck already loaded up, and he's trying to secure the grill from moving around, and he's got a little pickup truck, so he's going through his back door handles, and he's trying to tie the knot, but the rope keeps on getting looser and looser. I'm like, so I come around the truck, and his wife's in there, and she looks at me like, ooh, who's this big guy coming at my husband? Who's just a little old man, and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I help you with this? And he hands me the rope. Sure. Didn't say, what do you want? What are you doing? Get out of here. I said, sure. And I showed him how to make a loop in the line and tying it down and snug it down. And then I said, I was in the Navy, so I learned how to tie knots. And he goes, well, I was Army. They didn't teach us how to tie knots. They just taught us how to rifle an arm and shoot it, right? So, and we just had a kind of quaint conversation. But my point is, number one, do you really see people where you live just coming up and talking to complete strangers to help them? And do you see those strangers accepting the help and being gracious about it? I lived in other parts of the country. I'm not saying it's across like that across the whole state or whole country, guys, but it's just the way of life. I said this in a video I did the other day, a couple videos ago. My brother-in-law are out salmon fishing, which we're going to be doing again in May up north, up in Portage and Fort Kent in that area. And we're walking down the road getting over from one side of a brook and a river to the other. And this little old lady pulls over and asking us if we need help because I think she thought we were stranded or something. And, you know, my thought process is, wow. Number one, here's two big guys over 220 pounds easily. Why would a little old lady be stopping? Isn't she worried about getting hurt or getting mugged or getting the car stolen? Or whatever? No. Just down to earth quality. And of course, we didn't need help, but willing to give us a ride. And I said, we just told her, no, thank you very much. We're just fishing, trying to get to the other side. But it's those types of people, guys, that really makes Maine an enjoyable place to live. And you know, the quality of life coupled with the people, coupled with the food, coupled with the fishing, coupled with the seasons. There's just no other better place to live, guys, than in Maine. And that's my top 5. So I hope you found this information helpful. I hope it leads you, inspires you to kind of want to move here or at least check it out. Again, guys, Scott Tebow, I'm here to help. I'm just a resource. And if you're looking to buy or sell, you know, in the next 9 days, 9 weeks, 9 months, maybe sometime down in the future, just drop me a line, send me a text, put a comment in the section. Book a Zoom call if you're looking to do something sooner rather than later. We can have a Zoom meeting if you're not from here. And I'll just be a resource for you, help you get on your journey, help you go on that way, and make sure that it's a smooth transition. And I'm going to start sharing some of my testimonials from other people I've gotten off YouTube that I've helped them do this process. And, you know, it's pretty, you know, you really don't know, honestly, guys. You don't know when these people are coming from another state, how you compare to other realtors and other consultants and other real estate professionals in other parts of the state. But some of the, I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe it's not, but some of the comments and some of the just people are like, wow, I finally met a realtor that knows what they're doing. Or wow, I can't believe you're already on top of all this stuff and how you get things taken care of so quick. And I'm not just saying that's about me, guys. I think it's more of how I grew up. And I think it's how most people grew up here, that we believe in that kind of hard work, a fair pay for a fair day's work, and we believe in helping people. And that's me. I have a heart that's willing to help. So I'm not going to talk anymore about myself. I just hope that you guys find this content enjoyable and informative. And again, if you want me to send other comments, if you want me to talk about other subjects, send me a comment. You know, send me an email, send me a text, and I will, if it makes sense, right? Guys, I hope this information was helpful. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Scott Tebow, over and out. Bye-bye.